Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. So Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney are set to share a card before their planned rematch in October in Saudi Arabia. Now, obviously, this is contingent on them both winning. And the fighters they're being lined up to face are, in Ryan Garcia's case, Rolly Romero. We all know Rolly. He's only got 2 losses on his record, and those were to Isaac Cruz and Gervonta Davis. Both guys stopped him. And for Devin Haney, he would be taking on Jose Ramirez, who's also only got 2 losses on his record to Arnold Barboza last time out, and Josh Taylor, both on points. Now, these are both credible fights as far as I'm concerned, particularly for Devin Haney, who's coming off, I know it's not officially a loss, but he got beaten up in that fight against Ryan Garcia, humiliated, mentally and physically damaged. Let's just put it that way. So for him to be coming back off a long layoff, just like Ryan Garcia is, and taking on somebody like Jose Ramirez, who was a former world champion and all that, I think is decent. So I want to say both of these fights to me are maybe like 60-40s. They're definitely not 50-50s, at least not in the eyes of most fans, I would have to imagine, and not in my eyes. I see them as 60-40s. So I'll give Ryan Garcia at least a 60% chance of beating Romero, and Devin Haney at least a 60% chance of beating Ramirez. In fact, I think the Ramirez fight is a bit more competitive and a bit more dangerous than Garcia against Rolly. But the thing about Rolly is he can punch. Yeah, as much as he comes across as a silly guy, and it was funny watching some of his antics in the ring, and when he fought Gervonta Davis and was beaten up by Isaac Cruz, it was all quite comical because of the kind of character that Rolly Romero is. But he can hit, okay? Do not get that twisted. So, yeah, let's see how this card unfolds. And also on the card is going to be the IBF heavyweight final eliminator between Martin Bakole and Efe Ajagba, which I've covered in previous videos. And, that fight right there, I'm glad is taking place because as far as I'm concerned, there has been some type of effort to freeze Martin Bakole out of the heavyweight title picture, mainly because he is promoted by Ben Shalom. So I think because of that, they've tried to keep Martin Bakole out because I'm sure Frank Warren, he was the one that ran to the press to tell the story of Daniel Dubois dropping AJ in sparring back in the days. Well, since he knows so much about sparring, I'm sure he'll know that Martin Bakole has sparred Daniel Dubois. And according to Billy Nelson, Bakole's trainer manager, Bakole gave Dubois the business. So if that's true, Frank Warren's going to know all about it. And therefore, perhaps that's another reason why he's tried to keep Dubois away from Bakole or Bakole away from Dubois. If Bakole was a Frank Warren fighter, it probably would be very different, right? So anyway, that will be on the undercard according to Mike Coppinger. And this will be a Ring Magazine card. So the Saudis are now having 2 different promotions. There's the Riyadh season, and then there's the Ring Magazine. And presumably, I could be barking up the wrong tree here. I might have it incorrect, but I think it's going to be when the fights are outside of Saudi Arabia, when the cards are outside of Saudi, they'll call those Ring Magazine events. But the fights in Saudi will be Riyadh season, okay? Just to differentiate so people know just by the name of the promotion where it's going to be, whether it's going to be in Saudi or not. So, yeah, that's my best guess on that. Give me your take in the comment section below about these fights. Garcia against Rolly Romero, Haney against Jose Ramirez, and Martin Bakole versus Efe Ajagba. How do you see these fights going? Out of the 3, I see Martin Bakole versus Efe Ajagba as the least competitive. Yes, Ajagba's definitely got a chance. He can punch. He's a big guy. He's got a decent amount of experience now as a pro. But I just think he's too slow and too robotic and predictable to be beating Martin Bakole. I'm not saying he's got no chance, but I wouldn't give him any more than a 30% chance, personally. I think Bakole is going to be too fluid for him. I think he's going to put on too much pressure, throw too many punches, and Ajagba is going to capitulate. He's going to come apart in maybe 5 or 6 rounds. Maybe I'll give him a little longer than that. Let's say 7 or 8 rounds. Yeah, I would expect Martin Bakole to get the win. And as far as Ryan Garcia against Rolly Romero, I think Ryan Garcia will stop Rolly Romero. It might take him a few rounds because, Ryan Garcia can be aggressive, but when he's in there against a puncher like a Romero, will he take his time a little bit more? Will he maybe get stung by 1 or 2 Rolly shots and then settle into his boxing? I'm not sure, but yeah, I would say Garcia maybe stops Rolly Romero in the second half of the fight. And for Devin Haney against Ramirez, interesting contest. I favor Haney, but he'll need to have his mind right. He'll need to be physically sharp, so on and so forth. And presumably this will be at 147 because the rematch between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia is said to be likely to take place at 147. So yeah, Haney, maybe he will have more strength. Maybe he'll be a bit sharper, not so drained as he was at 140 pounds, taking on Ramirez. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me your thoughts. Oh yeah, in terms of the result, I would say Haney on points. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. And by the way, if you'd like to hear a free 10-minute sample of my most recent topical podcast on Patreon, there's a link that you can click in the description below. The episode is about how to get over a breakup as a man. I've gotten great feedback on the episode. Several people who left comments on it seem to indicate that they're going through a difficult breakup right now. I'm an older guy in my mid-40s, been there, seen it, done it, bought the t-shirt 10 times over. So I like to be able to share the knowledge I've acquired over the years with younger men in the hope that it can help and assist them. So like I say, to listen to the free 10-minute sample, you don't have to sign up for anything. Just click the link in the description box below. And if you like what you hear and you want access to the full episode and all my other topical content on Patreon, then just follow the instructions in this trailer. Are you surrounded by mindless bots in human form who adhere to the norm and blindly conform? Who swallow all the mainstream BS and actually ridicule you for questioning things? Do you wish you had more free-thinking individuals in your life to network and converse with? Well, look no further. We're right here. Come and join the Brotherhood of Reason on Patreon. You'll gain access to my weekly topical content where we take deep dives on an endless variety of subjects, as well as my vast back catalogue of podcasts, videos, interviews, movie decodings, and my Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You'll also get to talk and network with myself and hundreds of other people in our members chat. You can enjoy all this via the Patreon app or on desktop and download all my podcasts in high-quality MP3. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store, or simply visit patreon.com on a web browser. Then head on over to my page and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.